Okay, so I think I realized why or how this wonderful herb helps me when I am super anxious. Like I can pinpoint, and that's the beauty of this, because it allows you to recognize patterns. Once you can pick out a pattern that you're doing, once you show your brain what it's doing, it gets it, and it smartens up. It does whatever it's supposed to be doing. That's what I learned from my neurological vision rehab. Turns out my eyes were not working as a team. They were working individually. I have really poor eyesight. My brain had created tunnel vision, so it was overwhelmed with how much information I was taking in. So what it did is it minimized everything, so I could only see things. I could only see a limited number of things. It was easier for my brain to process. However, it needed to learn. It needed to be aware that it was doing that. I needed to be aware that my brain was protecting me in that way so that it could stop doing that. But in order to do that, I first had to be made aware of it. Okay? So that's what I learned in vision therapy. And because I take cannabis daily, I use it as a medicine for my functional neurological disorder. And because I had that piece, right, from vision therapy, I understand now that when I am super anxious, okay, the beauty of cannabis, I can vary my dosages based on what I'm feeling inside, because I know what I'm feeling inside. Okay, so on days, anytime the seasons change, barometric pressure goes crazy, my brain inflammation goes mad, and so there's migraines, there's more seizures, vestibular seizures, have to do with dizziness and visions, like not visions, like not hallucinations, but like a sunburst, like in a cartoon, like bam, that. There'll be a blank space. So if I were to look here, there'd be a blank space with a sunburst that's vibrating. This eye could be fine, there could be nothing there, but that would be in this eye. And every time I look and move, that's what a vestibular migraine does. So I know now, after 7 years, when the seasons are changing, especially from winter to spring, there's a lot of barometric changes. My brain is going to go nuts. So I have CBD gummies. That's just for general overall maintenance, balance. There's no THC in that. But then I can alter the dose of the THC that I'm having in my bong. Okay, and so during those seasonal changes, or anytime anxiety gets really high, I cannot stop my brain from thinking. Just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And so if I up my dose of THC during that time, it allows me to drop down into my body instead of being in my head, in my mind, and going over blah, blah, blah. I drop down into my body, and I had it. But then the thoughts stop because I'm not in there anymore. My attention, my awareness is not in my mind, it's in my body. And then when I start to get creative and I think of like, my hands want to be doing something, so I'll do a new knitting project, or I might make some jewelry, or I might get a little hungry and want to bake something. But like, so it's using all the other outlets, creative outlets that I have, when I also want to get out of my head. Anyway, my point is, and I'm sorry I look like shit because it's first thing in the morning, but this came to me and I wanted to share that. I just wanted to I thought that would help to illustrate how your brain heals. It needs to be aware of what it's doing in order to correct it. Because what I told my therapist was that my visual therapist was once, so whenever she would introduce a new exercise, she would never tell me what the goal of it was. We would just play a game. That's what the vision therapy exercises really are, sort of. So she would introduce it, and I would do it, and it was in the doing of it that I understood the whole point. Does that make sense? So if she had pointed out what I was to do, I wouldn't be learning. Do you see? Yeah, I wouldn't be learning it. I would be doing what she told me. My brain had to do it to see the problem and to fix it. Anyway, okay, that's my share for this morning. It is 7:49. Okay, have a great day.